said Thursday.
We're not going back.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about Friday.
Oh, Phil, you missed one meeting and look
I know.
Jesus. I'll get on my system.
All right, call the council meeting order, please stand for the pledge.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Beaky. Here. Chanel.
Here.
Navarre. Here. Danik. Here. Larner.
Here.
Lenzo.
Here.
Hoover. Here. No statement at this time. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported to approve the agenda. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public statement for any topic, including current agenda items. There are none. Okay. Consent agenda. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Support. Motion's been made and supported to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have accounts payable without root note for $143,782.21.
So moved.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is a root note invoice for $6,120.
So moved.
Support. Motion's been made and supported. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Motion carries. No unfinished business. Moving on into items for introduction discussion. Item A, discuss amending 2025 police budget.
So currently, we have a bunch of money left over in the police budget right now that was earmarked for wages, but we've been running with only one full-time officer all year instead of two, and we haven't had a part-time officer for most of the year. That was all budgeted. So what I'm proposing is that we amend the police budget to make a down payment on a new police cruiser that we will make payments on. I'm still figuring out the payments, but a down payment of around $10,000 to get the purchase going, and then next year we'll start our lease payments, and those are usually 3 years long. Again, I'm still figuring out the exact financing for that. I'm also proposing that we move $18,500 for to install a shower and locker room over here in the police department, expand the bathroom. There's an office that's not being used there that we can convert into a shower and a small locker room. There's some fluids that end up on some of these officers during their duty that we would need. I would like to have a place for them to at least clean up.
And by some fluids, you mean all of them.
A lot of, right. It's just really, it's a safety thing, it's a hygiene thing, it's all the above. And I think it would be a wonderful addition to the police department to have some sort of locker, because right now we have lockers, but it's in the main computer area, so changing is a problem, and privacy, that would offer that.
Are we removing a car from service?
We are. Yep. We have what's the bad one? 18?
418.
418. We've had for many years now. They get beat to hell, right? And they run all the time because you can't shut them off because if there's an emergency, it takes 15 minutes to log back into all your equipment. So they do stay on. They get beat up. I think we spent last year about $13,000 on fixing 418, just constant breakdowns and things like that. We can get a new vehicle for about $20,000 a year for the next 3 years. That we don't have to keep dumping money into. So I proposed $10,000 moved over to a new vehicle purchase, and $18,500 is moved for a locker room and shower area over there. So that's what we're talking about.
Are you gonna have to draft up an official budget amendment, or can we just do it right now?
Somebody could make a motion to do it now and do the budget amendment, and then I think we could do it for that, as long as it's in the minutes correctly. So if somebody wanted to make that motion.
I'll make a motion that we move $10,000 for a new vehicle and $18,000 for the upgrade to the bathroom.
$18,500.
$18,500.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
And just real quick, the reason we would do this now is because next year, we won't have that extra room for, that, we will have this new officer hopefully in the next, by March first, hopefully. So, we won't have the room next year, so we have the money set aside already. We might as well use it for the police department this year. Chief and Chad Root, Officer Root, have been working a lot, to keep us going with just 2 officers working. So. And now Tony, Officer Teniyuki, so.
Or he's planning to stay around a while?
Teniyuki. Yeah, hopefully, he's been great, so, been really happy. He's a part-timer. We get him on Monday and Tuesdays? Every other Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, and he's tons of work in Saginaw City, and he's just been really good, so, thanks for that, or any part-time off.
No, the question is mostly, does he seem happy with?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I heard it's
Everybody's got frosty here.
All right, next up, we have Resolution 0525, issue 2026 unlimited tax general obligation bond. This is the second and final bond for the money that was approved by voters. If we get this approved, Tom said the money will be available in March, April, and we can start planning projects around that.
Yep, this is just the other half of that voted 2022 street bond. That was for 1.9 million. We've done 950,000 in 2023 for South Front Street. Sorry, we got the money in 2022. This is the other half of that. We just need a resolution to get it issued. The bond attorneys would time it so it hits at the beginning of next budget. So, and if it does pass, Sam, I have 3 different copies that you need to sign. So.
Make a motion to pass resolution 5-2025 to issue the 2026 unlimited tax general obligation bonds. Round 2.
Motion's been made and supported. We're gonna do a roll call vote on this.
Beaky? Yes.
Chanel?
Yes.
Navarre?
Yes.
Panic?
Yes.
Lerner?
Yes.
Wenzel?
Yes.
Hoover? Yes. All right, next up, we have Consumers Energy request for Lockwood Street. That'll be west of South First Street abandonment. They're going to be rebuilding that substation there, and they've requested that we abandon the street that is south of their substation so they can use it to run utilities on. The street does continue to the east past the railroad tracks, and that would also be abandoned to the adjoining property owners as we usually do.
So if you want to do this, we'd have to set a public hearing, at least a month, for at least a month away. So it'd be that second meeting in January. We don't do a ton of street abandonments, but if we're gonna do that half, we might as well do the other half, because there's no reason that we'd ever run a street from 4th Street to a train tracks, as far as I know. Yeah, so if you guys wanted to do this, the public hearing would have to be set for January 20th. January 20th meeting at the earliest.
So we would need a motion to set the public hearing.
I make a motion to set the public hearing, for the abandonment of Blackwood Street for January 20th, 2026.
Real quick, when you say Lockwood Street,
West of First
Street
Street
to 4th Street,
to 4th Street?
like from 1st Street to 4th Street,
Alright.
or however stand on Street.
Could we get a support?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motion's been made and supported. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have discuss 2026 water and sewer rate. I have the numbers here. The proposed rate,
Everybody should have a printout showing,
Yeah.
it would be this one.
before we go over those numbers, let's talk about what that money's gonna pay for. Out of this money will come several projects. There's lead service line replacements. There is a 12-inch water main on East Broad Street that is currently 4-inch cast. And Tom informed me that it goes from 12-inch to 4-inch to 12-inch, meaning everybody downstream gets terrible water pressure. That'll get fixed. There's a 8-inch water main on Chapman Street. It will be an 8-inch, it's currently a 4-inch. Replace the 4-inch on Pete Road with an 8-inch. And another 4-inch on Clark Street, which serves Jackson Street, Wausau Street, and Jackson Street, with an 8-inch water main.
So all those, yeah, are currently 4-inch cast iron, which was the standard probably in the 40s and 50s. You can't build anything less than 8 inches anymore. It'll be PVC, most likely, but.
We also have replaced broken hydrants and valves. There are 3 hydrants and valves each per year. Isolation valve replacement, 5 per year, and remove dead end.
Those got taken
There's
out.
nothing there. Okay.
We currently replace 3 hydrants and valves each year. That's just down there because it is a yearly cost. It's about $12,000 per hydrant, $15,000 per valve. We do 3 total, not 3 of each, but we'll do 3 total.
Alright, those are the projects, and looking at the rate, as you can see, it's going from $7.25 per unit to $10.15. Sewer will go from $17.78 to $20.45. In the future, we should probably make a better effort to forecast these things and gradually increase the numbers instead of waiting 5 years and jumping it up.
Agree.
Oh, and another note, garbage will increase from $22.83 to $23.75, which is actually not terrible.
The reason for this is just to start the awareness of this is what these rates are going to do. To pay for the projects that infrastructure and the council has decided that need to be done along with the engineers. So.
Do we need a motion on this?
Nope, this is just a straight up discussion if anybody.
This is just starting out because they don't go into effect till March.
Alright, next up, items for action, set public hearing, ordinance 2026-01, purchase and financial procedures ordinance. We have some notes on that.
Matt has some notes on it, so this will, if anybody else has notes on it, let us know. This is gonna go back to finance and admin. Because Matt's made some changes, so.
Yeah, mine aren't,
Stop.
mine aren't terribly good.
Right there. That's the problem.
Everywhere that it says check, I'm proposing to replace that with payment, because sometimes we do electronic payments. Under subtitle Q, letter H, the village administrator is authorized to make emergency purchases of goods and services up to $10,000 with written approval of the village president. I added in, just adding a little bit more checks and balances in. Not that I'm worried about time, but the accountants like to see that. Letter J, changing from verbal to written, and removing the financial committee chairperson. Expenditures greater than those listed listed above that require transfers among cost centers of a fund budget must be approved in writing by the village president. And then going down to O, village administrator may impose a spending freeze on all discretionary purchases. Purchasing is instructed by the village president or the council if determined it's in the best interest of the village. Payment.
Which one was that?
That was letter O, page 2 at the bottom. Going to page 4, top of the page, letter I. All purchases in excess of $10,000 requires the development of a request for quotation, request for proposal, or request for bid, except when deemed impractical or otherwise inappropriate by the village administrator and the village president, or in the case of an emergent need. And procedure, letter D, late bids at the village administrator's discretion, may be returned unopened to the bidder. Page 5, subtitle 5D, letter C, determining the best responsible bidder, in addition to price, the village council, I just added council in there, unless you're gonna add language that identifies village as the village council. And that was it.
I'll take your notes.
Yeah.
Or give them to Keith.
Let me see your shirt, if you can read it. So that's gonna have to go back to finance and admin, if anybody else has changes. Pass them along. There's a big blob that I wrote all over and then crossed it out.
So this will go back to finance and admin, you guys can make changes that you think are good, and then we can re-recommend the new one at another meeting.
Oh. Yeah. That's probably a better number.
This is the number that allows him to make decisions.
Yeah.
That we don't have to worry about.
So Keith has got in their new copy for letter I, all purchases, it says in your, the old one was 10,000.
The old one was 10,000, you guys have the one that says 20?
Ours is still from 10, from what we
Okay.
discussed
I have one.
on Tuesday.
The one in the packet is not updated to 20.
Okay.
Yes, the one that-
I'm just looking at the one that we had last
Okay.
Tuesday is all.
So I'll talk about the one that I'm looking at.
I didn't print it.
This basically, essentially, this allows the village administrator, when there's things that need to be done that are simple projects, it allows him to make the decisions, 20,000 or less, to make the decisions and get it done. It fast tracks the projects, so the number on this one that Matt was talking has $10,000 limit. The new one's updated to 20,000. So it seems a better
Still 10,000.
number.
There's one, well,
I mean, I like to say 25, but.
for the record, my spending threshold is still $5,000,
Right,
without council approval. All purchases are still approved by council. The $20,000 is for bidding, to go out to bid. If it's under 20,000, I can make the best decision,
Oh, it is.
that I can come up with as far as contractors, under 20,000. But
Right.
the spending is still, my threshold's still $5,000. That doesn't change.
so that's all that says, so. If it's a quick project that's under 20, you can make a decision. He's still gonna tell us, but, it's not one of those.
There's also something
Our
in there.
scope of things, under 20 is a pretty small.
It's actually a small project, so.
And the reason we're looking at this now is we have a very outdated purchasing ordinance right now. I know there's another one, but it's been lost to time somewhere.
Yes,
I've been
and-
digging for 3 weeks.
We looked and looked, thought it could be done by resolution. The lawyer said, no, make an ordinance, so that's why this is here, so. Update this, and this is gonna have to go to, it's gonna have to be
Public hearing.
public hearing as well, so,
We'll set the public hearing the next time this comes to council.
right.
Um,
So we'll put Matt's notes in here, make sure everybody knows it, since everybody's seeing 10,000 instead of 20. Make sure everybody sees it's 20,
okay.
cause I have 20, so.
Maybe
And
I didn't
I
think,
do in the packet, I do, it's in the packet.
it's in the packet, it says 20 in the packet.
Yeah, just the
The old one
copy,
said 10, yeah.
the copy I got from Tuesday.
But that was the
We
only
discussed
thing.
it, so.
Everything else Matt was saying, yeah, I saw it when he was reading along. 10,000, like, wait a minute.
There are multiple versions.
So that's the only thing I wanted to voice out loud. There was a different number, make sure we all know the number's updated.
The only other thing I had a question about, I like the language, but it could bite us someday, is the part about employees having any interest, relative, let's say your niece or nephew is a contractor, that excludes them from bidding. Should we continue? This is a small town. So with us sitting here, you take our families, that excludes quite a few people. Is that something we should look at, or
Depends if you wanna keep the word local or have to go outside.
always prefer to keep it local?
Yeah, I think it makes a difference.
Is that common verbiage that came from somewhere?
Yeah, but we write this to serve the village the best, so, I mean, this is our ordinance, so we can absolutely change that.
My thought is, so if we put it out for bid, the council has to make the decision, so it's not just one person making that call and picking their buddy or their relative to do it.
Right. There was a few examples we had discussed based on some local bids that we had received in the past that we knew were going to be adjusted along the way. So, I mean, I would hate to exclude people just because it's family based on situations like that. That's what happens when you go outside of town.
And I mean,
And we do on some things, but there are things that we can do here
yeah,
that
like
we don't
simple
have to worry about getting
contracting,
lowballed on.
paving,
Sure.
all that stuff.
Like the River Trail part, it was great to use local for that.
And what is everybody else's thoughts?
If somebody on the council's relatives involved, they can always abstain.
Right, but I'm talking, well, okay, village employees, which is more than us, and then their families that branch out from there.
Yeah, but how much contact do they in council have with the village employees' families to influence our votes?
Sure. Agree.
Right. Negligible.
So I say we change it to allow it.
Okay, we could just.
Yeah, I
strike
think
that
just
section.
change the word allow, cause
Yeah.
that's pretty big.
I would leave the council section requiring abstaining, but the other one would strike.
Well, we'll work on that.
Okay.
So we're good with this 20,000?
Yes.
We should have a meeting on the 25th of December, because I know nobody's working.
Perfect.
We're all free.
Before or after the Lionsgate?
During.
Turn it on in
Is
here.
that TV word?
It's even good.
I can cast that, I can throw it up there with the YouTube TV, we're fine.
Nobody's coming in.
So no double time for that.
Do it.
You put double zero.
Double zero.
Just kidding.
All right, moving on to committee reports, infrastructure.
Next Monday morning at 8:30.
8:30 in the morning.
Tyler, if you are not able to make these regularly, let me know, and we can shuffle some stuff around.
Okay, usually early and late, are usually workable for us, so, I know Monday at 8:30, does work for me, so.
Okay, good. Finance and admin?
We already did.
We did have a meeting.
We did.
Yes.
What the heck did we
Last
do?
Monday.
We discussed everything that we discussed here.
Everything we just discussed, we discussed, by the way, so it's pretty, we're done, we're good, we're good.
Great. Public safety, no meeting since last time. DDA,
We met on December 10th. They paid bills, they talked about the bridge replacement, the completion of that.
Steve Odell was appointed as a new
Yeah,
member.
Steve Odell was thinking.
Chamber had a meeting, I was not able to attend. They paid bills. Planning commission,
No meeting?
airport,
No.
fire board.
Oh, we had 3 runs today, a total of 12 runs from the last one, bringing a total of 207 runs now. The blood drive on the 4th and 5th of December, they got 13 pints on Thursday and 18 on Friday for a total of 31. They're gonna have a pop-up on the 30th out to the fire department for another blood drive. Training is set for 2026. First one's gonna be CPR, and the other one's gonna be, I forgot what it was. It's all mandatory stuff.
Bill, will you let me know when they do the CPR one? I'd like to attend.
Okay. Christmas party is January 17th. It's gonna be Christmas training and that. Also, we're gonna,
Christmas training.
well, if you have your Christmas party, you got training and that. And, but anyways, we're gonna honor John Donaldson for 25 years. And Janelle Lucis, at 24 years, they are retiring. They're gonna be put on third alarm. So,
Janelle is retiring?
yes, because of Bentley being in school and everything else, she wants to be clapping play sports and all that.
How long
So,
has she been in it?
24
That
years.
is shocking to me. That is
God.
wonderful. I know, yeah.
Thursday, Scott's supposed to be talking to another guy. He's been on Albee and Spalding Fire Department, so that's gonna be helping us out too. Update, Scott, I was in Scott's office the other day when we got a call from Apollo on truck 1. The turret was sent from there to Hydro Motion, which is the one that built that in the first place. They're rebuilding it right now, and it's supposed to be back and put back in service by the end of February. So keep our fingers crossed. Scott came into the fire station the other day, looked out the front door, and there's a nice red package sitting there. It said from Santa. It was a Milwaukee grinder with grinding wheels and a package of softball blades. It said from Santa. So whoever it was, we thank you.
You're welcome.
Smoke detectors and seal detectors, check them out. If anybody looking for some, Menards has got a combination utility. It's 10-year warranty, $38. I just put one in my house. You got real Christmas trees, make sure they're watered. And check your fireplaces and your chimneys. That's it. Oh, January 14th is the next fire board meeting.
Task force.
You can say no meeting.
No meeting, I'm looking forward to getting the task force up and running.
Parks Committee.
We had a meeting on Tuesday after we had our finance admin meeting. I just wanted to bring, hopefully a few positive changes to down to the park that will not cost us a ton of money. Looking to run a water line to somewhere over near the dog park. That we're hoping DPW can do so we can water the dogs in the summertime. Won't be available in the winter, but will be available in the summer. Someone had asked me if there was a possibility to maybe run a couple of water lines to different locations within the campground, just to make it a little more accessible for the campers that are down there to access water versus having to fill up jugs and coming to the top. So I think we're going to look into that to see if that could be a possibility that DPW could also do. Looking to maybe hunt down the fence coverings that we used on the corner of Front and Broad from the building that had crumbled to place on the dog park north side of the fence in between that greenhouse and the dog park. Really, that's it. Just some small things, mostly water, accessible to the people down there.
We can't find those, maybe one of the lawn growers has some extra old stuff.
Yeah, sure, that maybe the ground was pulled out that we can repurpose to put down there. Did we find it? Okay, great.
Good.
Probably won't be till spring that we put that up. Would like to see it up before everything starts growing, just so we can get it secured nicely on there.
Maybe not zip ties.
Yeah.
All right, next up, council member statements.
I'll make one, just, thank you, appreciate the opportunity to be here with you all, looking forward to working with all of you, and, happy to get to know each of you, offline here and in the future, so thank you.
Thank you. Next up, village staff report, administrator.
Well, we'll start. Welcome to Tyler. He's eager to learn and get started on this, so I'm quite excited. I'm happy to have you. Please remember to remove snow from the sidewalks. We got to stress how important it is to do this in a timely manner for public safety. When sidewalks and access points aren't cleared promptly, it does create a risk for pedestrians, first responders, anyone trying to access a building. So it's so important that we clear the sidewalks. It's not being done in certain areas. The ordinance does give property owners a reasonable amount of time to clear the snow. After that, the village is allowed to step in when the conditions become unsafe, and the resident will be billed if the village has to go in and shovel their sidewalks. Our goal is not to enforce this just for enforcement's sake, it's keeping people safe, and our sidewalks passable for everyone. If snowfall or ice stops during daylight, it must be cleared within 12 hours. If snowfall or ice stops at night, it must be cleared by 6 p.m. the following day. This is just something we all need to do to keep sidewalks safe and usable year round. I don't want to enforce it, but we're going to have to, because the sidewalks have to be, the snow has to be removed. Sidewalks have to be.
You know, while they're shoveling sidewalks too, shovel around a hydrant around the
They're
house.
supposed, as part of the ordinance as well, to shovel around the hydrant. I did, we got the plaque that's gonna go up to the kayak launch, around the kayak launch, thanking everybody who donated, and helped make it possible. We're gonna put it on one of those big rocks that we have, down there, so that'll be there, this just came in the other day. And, I just wanna wish everybody a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you, January 6th. For the next meeting.
Police chief.
Okay, just a couple items. You had, my 2 report items in your packets. As far as the micro goes, we're coming up on the end of the year. I'm almost done with my, I guess we'll call it my 2025 end of year crime report. I hope to have that ready to go for the second meeting of January. I just have to wait on Lisa and HR to finish up the number of man hours we used this year. And obviously, in the early part of the year, she's busy with tax stuff, so, we're looking at probably the second meeting in January, I'll have a end of year report for you. Any questions on any of the activity? It was a relatively quiet month since the last time I talked. If you see the department activity, and not much, with my activity, except I did, make it over to Zion's lockdown drill, and we found some minor issues that they're gonna correct and they're working through. But I think I and they feel a lot better about where they're at right now since I've been over there. I did separate one of our part-time officers who's been on the books since I got here. He's got a lot of other things going on. He didn't have much time to be here, so I didn't see the point of keeping him on the books to never have him work, so he's moved on.
There is a cost.
There is a cost.
When they're on our books, so if we're not gonna use them, we are just gonna.
Yeah, and then the fact that if he comes in twice a year, every time he comes in, I have to be here to reset all his passwords, get him into everything, and basically do training for an hour before he even leaves the office, so it doesn't make much sense. Another thing that's not on your sheet that you got, is I just found out this morning, I just got the email, so I know I talked to you some months ago. In my humble opinion, we weren't prepared equipment-wise if there were to be an active shooter situation here in the village. And Mr. Evanhoe and I discussed it and finally decided just to pull the trigger and make that purchase of what I needed to outfit all 3 patrol cars, with the necessary equipment for an active shooter. And at the same time I was making that purchase, I did track down a grant from the 100 Club of Saginaw, but their deadline was the same time I was, putting the purchase in. We decided we were gonna spend the money anyway, but I just got notified, this morning that, Saginaw Club, or the 100 Club of Saginaw is going to give us that money back.
Wonderful, great
Net
job.
Zero, we have the equipment I feel comfortable with for that type of situation, and,
Let's hope you never have to use
yeah,
it.
let's hope not, but it'll be there if we need it, and I will go next to their annual meeting next month and receive that payment, so it's basically net zero for us.
Great.
And then I would like to do just a quick after action on Candle Walk. I think it went really well. I want to thank publicly my reserves. They were frozen when they got done, but they stayed here the whole time. They were out on foot the whole time, and we had to get moving around. From speaking with the coordinators of the event themselves, just those guys slow rolling with the gator within the closed off area was really helpful because it looked like we had a lot more officers here than we did. So I thought that was important, and it kind of kept a little bit so that people didn't try to come into our closed area. I also want to thank the fire department, because I reached out to Chief Fall, and he, without problem, put an apparatus on each end of the closure for me. I feel a lot better. It's harder to drive through a fire truck than it is a barricade. So I felt good having 2 very large fire trucks on each end of the closed portion of the roadway. And then lastly, speaking of that, we did write 2 citations for people driving around our barricades, because I will not tolerate it. I did give a warning to one other person, because that was at the very end of the second night, and they'd already broken down almost everything in the boulevard, and he came out of the dollar store there and thought that it was over and open, so I let him slide on that one. And then we did have one giveaway, because he or she got through the boulevard, and as I was trying to get out to go get him or her, I got pinched off by a horse cage. So, the risk of blowing through the closed area to catch that person was not worth it, so that one was a godly, but, I was happy that we were able to make it known that we're not gonna tolerate people taking drive down Wood Street and get around the closure. There's no reason to drive around our barricades. And I think we're gonna try to get a couple more barricades next year at a couple key intersections to make that even more difficult. Okay. All right.
Thanks, Chief.
Motion to adjourn.
Support. Motion's been made and supported to adjourn. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Mike, you should feel guilty.